Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 8 at Parx on Pennsylvania Derby Saturday. It's the Grade 3 $200,000 Greenwood Cup. We are going 1.5 miles. This race kicks off a 50-cent pick 4. A lot of handicappers are going to consider this a free square. We throw up the field and we see next, who is far and away the best older dirt marathoner in the country. He's 1-5 on the morning line. He's 1-5 for a reason. He's won 6 in a row, including this race last year. And every race, it seems like it's breaking sticks.
Yeah, what's it going to take to trip this horse up in one of these races, Dan? I mean, every single one of it, not only are they fast wins going long, but these races are never in doubt. He is blowing fields right off the track.
And it's probably because he's just so handy in his races. He can place Luan Machado wherever Machado wants to be. We throw up our Timeform US pace projector, and Treble Clef should be on the lead. After all, he has shown speed in middle distance races. Beach Days is stretching out from 6 furlongs to 1.5 miles. He'll be forward, and Truculent has some tactical speed as well. But it's not like any of these horses really, Mike, are pure sprinters that are going to blaze the way. I would expect next to get comfortable in the second flight or so.
Yeah, I agree. That's the one thing that you don't really have to worry about with as far as next goes, even at the short price, Dan, is it seems like he's unlikely to be compromised by pace. Sure, he likes to be forward in his races, and he doesn't even mind being on the early lead. But when he doesn't make the lead, he's perfectly comfortable sitting off of other horses. And if that's the case here, I mean, I just don't really see how it really trips him up.
We have the last 3 winners of the Greenwood Cup back in attendance for the 2024 edition, including Magic Michael, the number 1 who won this race in 2021, finished second in 2022, and is coming into this race in good form off a win in the local prep for the Greenwood Cup, going 1.25 miles at Parx. This pace wasn't very fast. Magic Michael sat just off it, and he's going to draw away from 3 of these. Riding with Biden will end up finishing second.
It's nice to come into a race, though, a race we already know he's going to get the distance, Dan, to come in with a little bit of a confidence builder. He wins this race very easily, going 1.25 miles. You don't worry about him stretching out further for this race. I mean, he's in the same boat as everybody else in here, where he's just, he's going to have to deal with next. And if next shows up and runs his race, this horse can't beat him. But there are things to like about Magic Michael.
Bill Mott keeps the faith with the number 2, Di Vernon. They tried next in the Isaac Murphy Marathon at Churchill Downs and next blasted him by 11. They tried him in the Brooklyn and next blasted him by 15. But Mott's a great trainer. He's going to give Di Vernon another chance. And I think maybe this time you just take him back. You hope maybe the pace is faster than expected for this distance, and you try to get a piece of it. He has upside.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think the one thing that I guess you could hold on to, obviously, the last 2 starts against Next, they were not close. But this horse is very lightly raced. And everybody else in this field, for the most part, you already know what they are. They're not going to move forward all that much in this race. Di Vernon could really move forward here. And maybe he's the second most likely winner of the race.
Riding with Biden won this race in 2022, then was beaten 25 lengths by Next in last year's edition of the Greenwood Cup. We saw him finish second at 9-10 behind Magic Michael. To me, that was a little bit of a disappointing performance, Mike. The pace wasn't very fast, going 1.25 miles, and he just had no response for the winner.
The problem with Riding with Biden is, and he's one of the horses in here who has, sort of back races that could really make him some kind of a threat in here, Dan. His recent form, really, really bad. I mean, since that last win here at Parx last August in an allowance race, I mean, his 4 or 5 races since then, they are not good. And I'm with you on the last one. Magic Michael was way better than he was.
We're asking a lot from the 4 Beach Days in here. Not only is she a mare taking on the boys, she's stretching out 6 furlongs off her most recent race, a 3rd place finish against Jersey-bred rivals, a race that did produce a couple of next out winners. You have to think she's going to show at least some speed stretching out all that way.
Yeah, I don't know why they would run her in here if they weren't going to at least go forward with her. To me, she was just impossible to make a case for.
Treble Clef is the number 5, coming off a 4th place finish at Parx back in July. So this horse is coming up a 2-month layoff. Was in against a pretty sharp horse last time out, though, Mike. A horse that came back to place in a couple of allowance races. One at Delaware with an 81 buyer, one at Laurel with an 86. At least we know that this guy can get close to the pace, and he does have a little bit of upside, but he'll need a career best by a long way.
Yeah, another horse, just like we were mentioned with Di Vernon earlier, he's still lightly raced enough that maybe you want to hold out some hope that he could move forward. I mean, he hasn't really run a fast race yet, Dad. And now you're talking about a horse who's got to stretch all the way out in distance and sort of see how he handles that. I mean, he's from a Juddmonte female family, so he's got that going for him. But man, does he have to jump forward in this race.
Truculent is coming in this race in very sharp form off a perfect trip win for the $40,000 claiming option at Monmouth, going 1 mile and 70 yards. He was able to save ground early. The rail opened up. He shot on through. While he did get a very good trip, he blasts this field.
Yeah, seriously, blast this field. It feels like almost a breakout performance for this horse who, so ever since the trainer change earlier this year, this horse just feels like he's gotten really good, and he took a big step forward here. He's obviously, sort of a reformed claimer. He's got all those, low-level running lines in his past, but this horse is good right now.
My imagination, the number 7 was well beaten second in the Greenwood Cup last year. I guess he Major Exacta behind next. He was 84-1 that day. He hasn't raced, however, since March. That last race, you can draw a line through that. He was wired in a very slow-paced race by a sharp horse that came back to win an allowance with a 98 buyer. That horse is now grade 3 placed. He's just a one-run closer that needs a little bit of help, and a lot of help with Next in here.
Yeah, listen, maybe we get a similar situation to the race last year, though, Dan, where Next takes care of everybody who's up close trying to go with him. They all get tired, and this horse can come and pick up some pieces again.
Modern Era goes out for the Uriah St. Louis barn. They've popped at prices in big races over the years, and we saw Modern Era finish third behind Magic Michael and Riding with Biden. The pace just wasn't there for this horse. He is a true closer that needs some kind of help from the back of the pack. All in all, I thought he ran okay.
Yeah, he did run okay in there. You're right, though. He's so pace dependent in here. And listen, I guess if you want to say they stretched him out for the first time, really, to go a longer distance in that last one, and he handled it fine. There is not one race on his card that puts him even close in here.
And here's Next. He won the Greenwood Cup last year by 25 over a wet track. He won the Isaac Murphy by 11 in his seasonal debut. He won the Brooklyn by a scant 9 1/4. And here's the Birdstone last time out. They only drew up 3 against Next this day, and he just wins in hand by 22 1/4. He's earned triple-digit buyer speed figures in his last 6 starts, 8 of his last 9, and boy, he might be the most likely winner on the card, even with Torpedo Anna scheduled to compete in the Cotillion.
Kind of looks that way. I mean, I don't really know what to say about this horse. There's no point in us going on and out about him. He's 1-5 on the morning line for a reason, and it feels like something's going to have to go wrong for him for this field to take him down.
Swigoo Star completes the field. This horse was claimed 2 starts back. They ran him in that Magic Michael race, the Greenwood Cup prep. He just didn't do too much. They ran him in this race last year. He was well beaten at a giant price. He just has to do more.
Yeah, 50-1 on the morning line for a reason. He's hard to get a hold on to as far as anything to be positive about.
We're kicking off a 50-cent pick 4 in the Greenwood Cup. We take a look at our top selections, and Next is going to be our top pick. Just don't want to have any money in against this guy.
Not going to try to beat this horse, Dan. Maybe Di Vernon is the horse that you try to get in there for second if he's some kind of a fair price in there because he's so lightly rated.
Same super, different order. 9, 2, 6, 1. We'll see if Next takes the next step. He has been unstoppable in these longer distance races on dirt. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe button below for more great DRF content, including race of the days, stakes previews, and lots more. You can find it right here.